For freelancers, entrepreneurs, and anyone without a corporate benefits package, there is a specific, quiet anxiety that comes with the territory. It feels like climbing a descending escalator, the constant fear that if you ever stop, you'll be forced to work for the rest of your life. This fear is reinforced by a financial culture that often treats the 401k as the only legitimate path to retirement. When you don't have access to one, the messaging can make you feel like you've already lost the race. Much of this comes down to automation bias. We've been told that because the 401k removes money before we can spend it, we shouldn't trust ourselves to save manually. We assume that without the machine, our discipline will fail. But this conditioning causes us to mistake the container for the goal. We have confused a specific, branded financial product with the actual state of having enough assets to support our lives. The reality is that millions of people retire without a 401k. They do it by recognizing that the account itself is just an employer-linked wrapper designed to bundle several different functions into one package. If you unbundle that package, you see the 4 gears that actually make it work: forced savings, tax shields, the employer match, and automated investing. Building wealth outside this system doesn't require a different set of physics. It just requires you to take these individual components and build your own machine. There are real costs to leaving the corporate ecosystem. You lose the immediate capital of a company match, and you give up the upfront tax deductions that lower your annual IRS bill. But the greatest challenge for a self-directed investor isn't market volatility, it's behavioral risk. Without a payroll department to automate your decisions, you assume full responsibility for your own consistency. The primary point of failure shifts from the performance of the market to your ability to stay disciplined when life gets expensive. For most people working outside the traditional system, the primary alternative is a standard brokerage account. This involves a clear trade-off. You accept a higher tax burden on your gains, but in return, you get total liquidity. There are no age-based restrictions or penalties for accessing your own money. Most self-directed investors use this flexibility to build a foundation of low-cost index funds and ETFs, which provide broad market exposure without the need for complex management. They often pair this with a high savings rate. By consistently maintaining low expenses and investing a larger portion of their income, they build their principal much faster than the average employee. While you lose the tax efficiency of a retirement account, a higher volume of contributions can bridge that gap. If you manage to save enough, the size of your portfolio can eventually provide the same security as a tax-advantaged plan. Another path is a cash flow model. Instead of a depleting lump sum, you create assets that refill your accounts monthly. Real estate adds a stream where rent covers costs and appreciation builds wealth. Business ownership adds another recurring stream through monthly profit distributions. This approach changes the definition of retirement. It's no longer about hitting a specific net worth number. It's about ensuring your monthly income consistently exceeds your monthly expenses. When you look past the specific accounts and assets, you find a single engine that powers every version of financial independence. This is the universal formula. Regardless of the strategy, wealth is created when your income exceeds your expenses, and that surplus is given time to grow. The 401k is just one way to solve this equation. It is a useful tool, but it isn't the math itself, and it certainly isn't the only way to balance the numbers. If you're building your own path, start with a foundation of low-cost index funds and look for at least one alternative income stream, like a side business or a rental property. The biggest obstacle will be lifestyle inflation. If your spending grows as fast as your income, you neutralize your own progress, no matter how much you earn. You also need to build your own automation. Set up recurring transfers to your brokerage account so that your investing becomes a fixed rule rather than a monthly choice. Finally, focus on the income your assets generate. Retirement becomes a reality when your money does enough work to cover your life. A 401k is a convenient package, but it is not a requirement. Financial freedom is simply the result of a system you build yourself, maintained by the habits you choose to keep.